what we're going to do is take a look at Cyberpunk running at several different setting levels. So at the moment, this is kind of our baseline. So, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. We're running, this is 1440p, and this is with all of the upscaling off and the settings turned all the way down. Now, this is lower than the actual low preset. So we take a look at that, and we're downtown. So this is, the goal here is to give you the worst case scenario. So I want you to be able to see the absolute worst that you're possibly going to see. Now, from what I can tell, it's low frame rate, but it is holding fairly stable at that low frame rate. As long as we stay over, I don't know, I want to be a little bit north of 30 at around 35. So I'm generally finding on systems that can actually handle 30 FPS, solid 30 is good enough. For smooth. I mean, look, it's not going to be perfect, but for that kind of smooth graphics feel, yeah, a solid 30 is kind of where you want to be. Better is better, but when you're running at kind of a base, lower, older hardware than this, or I'm sorry, old hardware like this, that's where you really want to be. Now, the next thing we'll do, yeah, definitely, I mean, it doesn't feel jerky or anything, so, I mean, it's definitely, oops, dang it, it's definitely playable. I know some people have strong feelings about 30 FPS. Congratulations, then a GTX 980 on a 4790K is not the build for you. So, let's go from there. Now, where I would start with, dang it, is this. This is the standard low preset. Now, my opinion on this is that it's not really any different, so you were better off to save the frame rate. So your next place you want to go, and probably where I would run it, would be FSR 3 quality preset with the frame gen on. Where was I? Was that high? Yeah, high. So the high preset, usually you can do it. Okay, so that runs. Actually, I'm not digging the look of that, which actually surprises me. Let's do this. Let's turn that off. Let's leave the frame gen on, and then let's turn our settings to the medium. So medium, FSR off, frame gen on. I want the high crowd density. I do not want any of the film effects. I'm not a fan of any of those. So this is probably going to be... Okay, I guess I'm wrong. Okay, so... Now keep in mind, we also are not doing what I call juicing the hell out of the GPU with a fast CPU. Now, if we were to run this on a faster CPU, on something more modern, maybe like an 8700K or something, we would be getting better results. But this is for... Because 4th gen hardware is so common at this point that I know there's going to be people running this type of combination. Let's turn our settings to medium, FSR off, frame gen on, crowd density high. Okay, that didn't really change anything either. That's interesting. So in this case, I'm actually kind of surprised on this. I thought maybe high to medium, but on this particular build, I'm not digging the way it looks with the upscaling running. So what we're gonna do, I honestly think, no, let's do this. I don't personally dislike the look of frame gen. People have different feelings on it, some strong, some not. I don't dislike the way it makes a system look. So I'm thinking standard low preset. Well, that's interesting. It doesn't seem to be affecting it. So we've got frame gen on. Okay, so we need to go lower. So we're going to have to baseline the settings. And then we're going to have to, we're going to kill this. I'm not thrilled with the way FSR is making this look on this build. And then we're going to have to tank the settings. Now, some of these settings don't really affect your frame rate, so we'll crank a few of them back up in a bit. Let's see what we get here. Okay, so with the frame gen, that gets us up into the 50s. It's not particularly, there's not a whole lot of effects, but it is crisp and it looks decent. It's just, I mean, we're working with 12-year-old hardware here, so there are some limitations. It's absolutely playable at this level, though. And actually, I would argue it doesn't look bad. Yeah, the effects are cool when you have a system that can run it, but it really doesn't look bad here. Okay, so then what we're going to do... All that off. Let's see how that affects us. Okay, so that was one of those ones that didn't really affect us that much on the frame rate. What else can we turn back on? Let's see what that does. Yeah, that's about... That didn't really affect us either. That doesn't really matter. Let's turn that to medium. Let's turn this to... These are going to affect a few things. Let's see. Those are going to affect frame rate. Not as much as I thought, though. So I feel like something about like what we got going on right now is probably your best bang for the buck. About right here. So where we're sitting is... Let's do one more. Let's turn that level of detail. Okay, that didn't really affect us that much either. Let's do one more level of detail up. Let's see what the level of detail high. Okay. Okay, yeah, so that didn't really affect us that much. Gosh darn it. Stupid cars. So I think that's where we're looking if we want a viable, smooth experience. So what we're looking at here is, I do like my wide field of view. I do turn all of this off. So contact shadows on, facial geometry on, anisotropy at 8. I'm not even going to speak these each. You guys can look and see what you think. Now, I'm sure we could optimize this more than this. Oops. But that's, I mean, that's real quick. I mean, you're watching it in real time along with me. And we're driving back and forth in what is really the most demanding part of the city. The other thing to keep in mind too is that generally speaking, there's a lot more to draw when you're on a bike, because it has to draw everything. Oh, there is a little bit of I don't normally see that. A little bit of artifacting going on there, probably related to the frame gen. Maybe I'd have to play around with it, but personally, I'm fine with that. With the frame rate and the overall general visual quality we're up to here, I got no complaints. So as you can see, now that we're not on the bike, we're getting a lot closer to that 60 FPS. This really isn't that bad. Keep in mind, remember what we're doing here. This is a 12-year-old computer. This is 2013, 2014 generation hardware. So keep that in mind when you want to critique here. I mean, look at this. I really think this is incredible. I think your average uninformed non-gamer type, even some of the gamer types out there are going to be happy with this. I could play this all day long. Like, I would be fine with this. I'm not uppity when it comes to my games and settings and stuff. Yeah, I've got the money for better hardware, so I buy it. But when I'm on hardware like this, honestly, it's fine. So anyway, I hope some of you guys find this kind of quick and dirty look at what you can do with Cyberpunk interesting and, or shall I say, informative. I hope you guys find this useful so you can kind of get an idea of what your own system can do. But anyway, thanks for watching the video.